Welcome back, WeldTube family. This is Andres Moya from El Paso, Texas, pipe fitter welder. Last time I was here, I welded a really bad fit up. Today we'll be welding a huge gap. What's up, WeldTube family? Before we get started with this piping, I'd like to give a salute to all my brothers and sisters in the armed forces that paid the ultimate sacrifice. I had the honor of serving in the Marine Corps and fought with a few of my brothers that didn't get to come home. They're never forgotten. They're always in my heart. This is for you guys. Thank you. What's up, guys? Last time I was here, I welded the world's worst fit up. Today I will be welding the world's biggest gap. Should you do it? No. Could you do it? Maybe. Are we gonna do it? Yes. Usually out in the field, in the real world, you wouldn't accept something like this, you'd turn it down. But for demonstration purposes, we're gonna try to weld it out here. Okay guys, today we'll be welding on a gap about 1/2 inch wide. You can fit 4 1/8 TIG wires in there. You shouldn't do this, you should reject it. But for demonstration purposes, we're gonna try to weld it out here. Try to leave it as thick as we can. Okay guys, I'm gonna be welding this 1/2 inch gap using my XMT 350 Field Pro miller. I'm gonna be welding this with 1/8 TIG wire, 70S6. And the way I'm gonna be going is gonna be a slow process. I'm gonna be following my TIG wire and my tungsten together back and forth. Just filling back and forth, adding wire back and forth, adding wire back and forth till we can fill this gap. I set my machine at 100 amps. A lot of people will be more comfortable around 80, 90 amps, but I found this a little bit easier for me. Just filling in that gap. Okay, down on the bottom, it's a little bit more open. You're going to be fighting gravity, so you're going to want to keep your TIG wire more inside of the pipe and keep following your tungsten side to side. Try not to lose that rhythm. Continue with your feeding hand. So feeding is a big process in this. Just got to keep going side to side, non-stop. If you get yourself in a bind and you can't feed right, you can kind of come off to the side, freeze that tungsten on there, slide your hand back up, and then continue going back and forth, side and side. Make sure you don't take too big of steps. As you come up to the side, you continue doing the same way, feeding that wire. Once you start getting to that top, you're going to want to take your TIG wire outside of your feathered edge and hold it up a little bit higher because the gravity is going to sink right in there. Just keep going back and forth, side to side, following your tungsten and that TIG wire at the same time. I'm burning at 100 amps. Normally, some people say to put 75, 80 amps. For me, it felt a little too cold. At 100 amps, it's a little bit more tedious. You got to move a little bit faster, but I feel more comfortable with 100 amps. Out in the field, I've encountered some gaps. Nothing this big, but some good-sized gaps, and there's nothing you can really do about it. It's the last final tie-in, and they want it done. You just got to sit there and continue doing what I'm doing here, but with a smaller gap. Yeah, I got most of the way up on this side. I'm going to go ahead and start from down here, work my way up, and then we'll finish up on the top. I still got my machine at 100 amps. I'm still using 1/8 TIG wire. I grinded my start pretty thin. And we're on the bottom again, so you got to try to keep that wire on the inside of the bevel. Gravity will try to bring it down. You know, watch, make sure you break down those walls on the end. Just keep going back, side to side. Nice and slow. On this weld I used around 10 TIG wires to complete this root. It's a lot of wire. You're just constantly feeding and welding. But every time you need to stop, make sure you grind your stops and your starts really good. Feather them, that way when you start up again, you can fuse in really good, nice and easy, and you can't tell where you tied in or not. Just remember, when you're getting ready to tie in, you want to feather your tie-in really good. Make sure it's nice and thin, that way it fuses in really good. Once you get to your tie-in, you want to soak in there, kind of wash over it, hold there for a little bit, make sure it fuses really good, and just walk past it just a little bit, and then you can go ahead and break off. There you have it, guys. 1/2-inch gap, tackled it. Should you do it? No. Could you do it? Maybe. But we did it. It was tough. You know, it's something that you normally don't come across, and you shouldn't do it. But we were able to do it. We got it tied in there really good. The outside doesn't look as smooth as you would normally want a TIG weld, but it's in there. It's just really tedious. Feeding the wire really good, non-stop, just going back and forth, following your tungsten over and over again, just breaking down those walls and just watching that tungsten and keeping an eye on your puddle, make sure it's not dropping. Remember, I did this at 100 amps. Alright guys, if you like any of the gear that I used on this video, these are the new rag top hoods that WeldTube came out with. This is the slim cut, and then the new lens, the WeldTube high visibility HD shade 10 lens. It's awesome, looks great. Try out all the gear, I love it. If you can, visit weldlife.com. Alright, thank you guys, we'll see you guys on the next one.